This is the fan coil. We have 3 of these we're going to be installing. It's got the water connections here on this side, and it's got the electrical connections on the other side. We have, that's a 2.5-inch hole down into the basement that I hope I can get my plumbing through. And over here we have, it's a little obscured by the linoleum, but there's a 3/4 hole where I can bring my wiring up through. So I think we're in good shape here. There it is in its home. It sits pretty good. And I just need to get the wiring and plumbing over here. This will be all set. I'm trying to get the water lines run for this fan coil. And this is the hole I drilled, 2.5 inches. Now it is, you can see the outline of the space I have to work with, but there's a timber right under here. So that's it. That's all I've got for space. And this is 3/4 PEX with 3/4 inch wall insulation. My issue is that I need to fit 2 of these plus this condensate line all through that hole, which is currently fully occupied by that one thing. The next fan coil I'm going to install is going right here against this wall. And I'm probably going to have it as close to the right side as feasible, but we still got to have the closet door be able to open, so I have to site that out. So this is the spot where I'm going to be coming in. No, not up there where it's easy to access. In here. Here's my little closet. You can see up there, that's the floor of the bedroom we were just standing in. Yes, I know the insulation is in horrendous condition. There's a lot of work that needs to be done in here, but one step at a time. The pipes are going to come down on the right side there on top of the stone wall. So I'll probably run my pipes through here just so they stay towards the ceiling and it's just out of the way and easier. But yeah, I'm going to have to clean all the stuff out of there. There's all sorts of clothes and insulation and just all sorts of gross stuff. Not excited at all about going in there, but you know, see what we can do. Frankly, I'm not sure my shoulders are going to fit through that hole with this water line in the way. That water line doesn't do anything, so I may take that out. But yep, that's where I'm going to be working. Fun. I'm running the last 2 pipes right here and the wires to the fan coil that's in the bedroom, which is going to be inside. I don't know if you can see the orange wire sticking down. That's one of the holes we need to get the wires up into. So it's inside this little like crawl space opening. I don't quite fit through the hole, so Mary's gonna help. She's all suited up to get dirty. Well, and we got plastic down. It's just a dirt floor, but it's kind of gross, and I pulled a bunch of old fiberglass insulation and blankets and stuff out of there, so. Are you in? Just be careful on your left there, and watch out for the wire by your left knee. How is it?
It's fine.
I'll let you get set up.
So I'm pulling this with me?
Pull the wire with you. I'll kind of feed it along. And you can just tape it right to the end of the orange wire that's hanging down. This is the radiator I need to remove. It sticks out from the wall like 1.5 inches, and so I can't put the fan coil here up against the wall. So I'm just gonna cut right here, and then same thing on the other side, right here. Solder on a couple 90s and put a new length of copper along the middle there. I need to drain the heating loop that services the kitchen so that I can remove one of the radiators and put the fan coil in its place. This is a potentially risky maneuver because I need to basically, I don't know if you can see, there's a valve right here, and this will close the loop off from the rest of the boiler system. And then there's a boiler drain right here that will hopefully drain that loop. And I'm relying on the zone valve on the other side to remain closed. I've turned the heat off so the thermostat won't kick it open, but I don't really know how much is in the loop. I've got 10 gallons of buckets here. Hopefully that's enough, but if not, I can always stop the valve and dump it and start again. But first things first, I'm going to see if this, okay, it moved, and there's not water flowing everywhere. Very stiff, but it is turning. Okay. Hopefully that's closed all the way. Alright, that's as far as I can go by hand. I'm gonna aim into one of these buckets on the floor, hopefully. Wow! Okay, I need some pliers. So, this is super tight, potentially because it leaks. So we'll just have to see. Alright, that's cracked open. Nothing's coming out yet. There it goes. Oh, that's nasty, nasty water. That seems like more water than should be in this loop. Yep. It was draining other parts of the system. The well pump is on because it's filling the boiler with fresh makeup water. Alright. That's more or less stemmed the flow from the rest of the system. It's not all the way stopped, but I can't get that valve any tighter. We're going to open this one. Alright, so the kitchen loop is drained. I'm going to leave that open so that when I make the cut upstairs, it'll still drain into this bucket if there's anything else that comes out, but I think that's as good as I can do, and I'm just going to have to work quick. So that's, I don't know, what, 2.5, 3 gallons that came out before I realized that something was wrong. And you can still see it's dripping that fast. I can't close that valve any tighter. So we'll just have to make do with that, I guess. leave this right in the wall because it's not hurting anything being there, it's not in my way, and it's gonna make a nice heat shield for when I solder under these pipes. This side is gonna be a little tricky. It's sunk down into the floor quite a bit, so I might try to pull it up and put a pair of pliers on just to hold it, but it's also full of water, so I'm gonna have to suck that out so that I can solder on that pipe. Oh, I close that one. We'll open this one up. I can hear the fill valve open. No leaks down here. Let's go check out upstairs. We have a leak over here. Luckily we caught it before it sprayed water all over the house, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be on the back side of this joint right here. I don't see any solder over there. So we gotta fix that. The flux is probably all gone. But hopefully there's no water in this right now and I'll be able to heat it up. Otherwise it's gonna take, I don't know, a lot of effort. Basically undo this whole thing and try again. We'll see. This is turning into a disaster. It's leaking back here, and it's leaking up here in a few spots. I think I'm not going to be able to do this. It's just, now it's full of water and there's no flux. I can't get it to pull the solder in. So I really just need to start over again. And to do that, I think I'm going to go get a couple shark bite fittings and we'll do it the easy way, which I probably should have done in the first place, but I thought, well, I have all this stuff, no sense buying $25 worth of elbows if I don't have to. But I've now wasted 3 hours of the day, so oh well. Shark bite to the rescue. Okay, I think that's on. This one's got a little vent here to let the air out, so I'm gonna leave that just cracked, and we'll see how this goes. Oh God. All right. That's good. That was a lot more water coming out of it than I expected. But I think it's not leaking. Let me dry it up. I think it's not leaking. All right. Should have done that right from the get-go. I took the steel out now that I'm done with my soldering. I think we have some original sheathing back in there. So that's kind of interesting. They've basically framed this wall in front of the original wall for the house, which is how we get these built-in cabinets. So I'm just working on building some framing. That'll go there. And this is essentially going to be like a picture frame to hold that I will mount the fan coil to. I got this frame built to support the fan coil. This one I'm going to basically end up hanging on the wall. The foot is going to touch on the right side, but it slopes so far that I think the left one's not going to touch. This is sized so that there's 3/4 of an inch basically all the way around, so that we can add some trim boards and kind of, you know, make this look a little nicer. We're not going to do that right now, and obviously we're going to fill in the gaps on the side at some point here, but the main thing is getting the fan coil mounted so I can plumb it in and get the plumbing all done for this project. Got all the framing in, I got the bracket mounted, and now I need to cut a hole in the floor right where those pencil marks are for my plumbing. And I think I'm going to squeeze my electrical down that same one too, because over on this side where the electrical would go through, there's actually a stone wall directly below me. So I'm going to run the electrical in the back behind it and then out through that hole right where I'm going to cut. Here's my core sample from our kitchen floor where I cut out to make the hole for the plumbing. So we've got our linoleum on top that's glued to this plywood. We're guessing this was done in the 60s, late 60s. That's on top of some 3/4 inch thick tongue and groove pine that appears to be in good condition. And that's on top of 3/4 inch, much older fir or pine boards. So we've got a solid, 2 inches at least of flooring in our kitchen here. Just kind of interesting to see what they've done over the years and why our kitchen floor is so much higher than the living room floor. I got the unit in. Plumbing's connected. Coming up through the floor. The gray one there is my condensate drain. I gotta make some connections downstairs, and the thing that I haven't quite figured out yet is how to insulate all this. And I think I'm gonna basically fill the cavity down in there. Basically it's inside the foot and through the floor with spray foam. Because this is, in the summertime when we're running air conditioning, these are going to be cold and these are going to condense potentially. And I just don't know. I could try to put some insulation into here, but there's not a lot of space in here, so I don't really know what the best way to do that is. But at least for heating season, this will be okay. Okay, this unit is fully installed, wired, plumbed, Obviously, it's not quite done because we have to still. We're gonna put just some pine trim boards along here to kind of fill in the gap and make it look better. We got to fill that in with sheetrock, but otherwise, this is ready to use. And I just need to make the connections downstairs and get the rest of the system running. That's all. This is the fan coil unit I'm using. It's a Space Pack HTW 196. They have a few different sizes. This is kind of the middle, which happens to be about the right size for each of the spaces I'm putting it in. It's very quiet. Doesn't take a whole lot of water. So hopefully it works well. The aesthetics of this thing don't exactly match the rest of our house. But the other options to buy for these fan coils look like they're from a hotel room from 1985. So this is definitely a better option than other ones. But I don't know. We may put some paneling or some other. We had talked about building almost like a hall tree around it to sit on and put boots and stuff. We just have to maintain airflow at the bottom for the intake, and then this flap here will open, and that's where the air comes out. So as long as it can move the air, we can kind of build something custom to make it look maybe a little more integrated. So we turn this on.
Hey, Mom, the water leaking. Mom said, oh yeah, it's leaking. That's bad. Yeah. Come on, let's go. Yes. I know exactly what to do.
The water is leaking.
We have leaking here that we need to fix.
You guys got to do some plumbing in here? Yeah, come on, let's do some plumbing in
Is
the
it
living
gonna
room.
go right here too?